How's it going, everybody? I was just kind of bored, so I figured I'd hop on here and talk some four-star reads. Maybe talk a little Harry Potter because I just started that series. I know I'm pretty dang late to that. Let's see here. Started that series. I know I'm pretty dang late. All right. All right. So first things first, I'm just going to start. I'm going to go down because I liked what I did before, kind of reliving some of my past readings. Oh, let's see your title. Not a title. Because the last time I did this, I did 5-star reads on Goodreads. So I'm going to start, just kind of go through the 4-star reads I've had. And then if anyone comes on, and if they've read Harry Potter, maybe we can talk a little bit about that. And then I'll show. I've got some books here that I'll show in a second. If I get some viewers or anything like that, to bounce some ideas off of them. Let's see here. First off, I hope everyone had a good Thanksgiving. And I know I did. Where am I going here? My rating, yes. All right. So I did 5-star reads before. I don't think I did 4-star reads. All right. Here we go. Okay. So the first 4-star read I want to talk about is Scavenger by David Morrell. This is the second in a series, and I might have talked about this when I was doing 5-star reads. But Scavenger was basically, a group of kids, not teenagers, but college kids. They go into this abandoned house. Well, it turns out it's not so abandoned. Somebody is living there. So it's kind of like, I don't know if you've seen that movie Don't Breathe, but Don't Breathe was kind of, they knew that guy was in there, but kind of had that vibes to that. This came much before Don't Breathe. So we've got, Scavenger. If you're looking for a pretty good, fun thriller book, I wouldn't say it's a horror, it's more of a thriller. We've got, of course, we've got a lot of Walking Deads on here. So I do plan to film a video mid-December about, the accomplishments that I had during my year here, or not, during my year on here. A lot of great accomplishments. Joined a few groups. Really loved what I've done. At this point of filming this, I am at 155 books, which I had a 100-book goal, and I definitely, excuse me, I definitely accomplished that. All right. Walking Dead. A lot of those books are going to be 4 stars. There's quite a bit of 3 stars on here, but this is the first one. The volume 1 is Days Gone By. Really opened up the series. And overall, I'm glad I read it. A lot of it kind of just like the show, just kind of went off track. And, let's see, 4-star. Oh boy. This is A Child Called It by Dave Pelzer. I read this back in high school, I believe. I think it was required reading. But it's just basically Dave was when he was a kid, he just wrote like a memoir about when he was a kid, and his mother just treated him like garbage. It was, make him lay on the stove naked and stuff like that. Just terrible, terrible things that this monster did to this kid. and he wrote a book about it. And yeah, it's disturbing what another human being can do to another human being. We've got Legacies by F. Paul Wilson. I'm not 100% sure what I remember what this one was about, but F. Paul Wilson wrote a series called Repairman Jack, and he he wrote a series called Repairman Jack, and it's just this. It's kind of like it's just this guy. It's kind of supernatural type stuff, but it's a fun series. Highly recommend that. We've got Chasers by Lorenzo Carcaterra. Chasers is I can't 100% remember, but Lorenzo Carcaterra wrote Sleepers. I think it was Sleepers. Maybe it wasn't Sleepers. Why am I getting that confused with Dennis Lehane? Dennis Lehane wrote Mystic River, and I believe Lorenzo Carcaterra wrote Sleepers. And he also wrote a 5-star novel that I gave called Apaches, about a group of cops, solving crimes and doing this, coming up against the mob, stuff like that. I can't 100% remember what Chase was about, but I gave it 4 stars. We've got Die Trying by Lee Child. This is a Jack Reacher book. Not 100% sure where it is in that Reacher catalog, but obviously I enjoyed it. I can't remember what it's about, but whatever. We've got Night by Eli Wiesel. Night is basically it should be required reading. It might be required reading now. It is Eli Wiesel went to a concentration camp with his family, and he just basically it's a memoir on what that's all about. So it's pretty rough. It is a novel about the Holocaust, so be warned. We've got The Summoner by Gail Z. Martin. I have some books by Gail Z. Martin over there waiting to be read, and I should get those in 2022 here. This is The Summoner is basically kind of your average fantasy, the Chosen One. This time the Chosen One is a necromancer, and he's got to go up against, I believe, his uncle. He wants the crown, and obviously he kills the king. The king is the protagonist's father. Kills the king, and do it with what you will with that. Kills the king, and he wants, and then he obviously has to make the kid disappear, so he does, and he doesn't disappear. Sorry. All right. Rally Cry by William Forstchen. I don't know. Basically, what this is I believe this is a platoon of Civil War soldiers who get caught in a time loop, and they travel to this fantasy land and do all that fun stuff that comes with that type of tropes. I like the first one. The second one I didn't care for, so I stopped reading it. Then we have 4 Hours in My Lie by Michael Bilton and Kevin Sim. So My Lie was I had to read this book for a paper I had to write in college, because I took a Vietnam War class in college. And My Lie, if you don't know, basically some American platoon just decimated this village, killed, all the villagers, did some other stuff. And this book is all about that. We've got Pilgrimage to Hell by James Axler. Now, this is the first in the Deathland series. And it was pretty damn good. Obviously 4 stars. The rest of the series, there's some 3 stars. Most of them are like 3 stars and 2 stars and 1 stars. But this I couldn't find for the longest time. I was looking for this series, and I was living in Wisconsin at the time. Somebody emailed me. I emailed somebody on Craigslist because he had a bunch of these, and he didn't get back to me for weeks, months, it might have been like 4 months. I finally got an email back. I completely forgot about this. All of a sudden, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I just saw that you emailed me. Like, do you still want these books? Can you come get them? I said, yep, I'm coming. I'll come this weekend. I drove like 40 something miles in the middle of nowhere, Wisconsin, which, might have been dangerous. But yeah, so I picked up a shoebox full of these, and this was in it. And yeah, read it, loved it, continued the series. Those are still up in Minnesota. I haven't gotten those back. Next is Unwind by Neil Shusterman. Unwind is, I think it's, Neil Shusterman writes about those young adult stuff. And this is a series. I can't remember 100% what this is. Obviously it's the young adult stuff. I can't 100% remember what that is. All right, we're going to move on. The Dragon Bone Chair by Tad Williams, 4-star read. It's basically, this is what George R.R. Martin, I thought, he loves Tad Williams. So if you're, you definitely can see some Game of Thrones type stuff in there. But so obviously it's a typical fantasy trope. You have a chosen kid who doesn't know he's chosen, and it does all that stuff. There's elves and dwarves and hobbits, not hobbits, but those type. Homeward Bound, which is another Deathland series. Can't 100% remember what that was about because they're all kind of blend together. The Shining by Stephen King is a 4-star read for me. First ever adult novel I've ever read. And so it has a special place in my heart, so that's why it gets 4 stars. And it's a pretty damn good book. Definitely check out The Shining. That is a definite horror read. It's a definite good read. You can read that anytime, though. We have The Judas Strain by James Rawls. This is the first. I believe this is the first. Maybe it won't be the first. I can't remember 100%. Let me click on that. No, it's number 4. Number 4 in the Sigma Force series. Let's see here. Yeah, number 4 in the Sigma Force series, and can't 100% again. I can't remember what this was about, but I do remember the Sigma Force series is a bunch of scientists / archaeologists who are weapons experts and fight experts, and they go up against baddies and all that fun stuff. So yeah, highly recommend if you're looking for. It's more like a Clive Cussler novel, I guess. We have another one that I've read early on in my reading career, Cujo by Stephen King. Need I say more? Big Saint Bernard gets rabies and goes psycho on the neighborhood. Fun read. We got Stone of Farewell. That is the second in the Dragon. I think it's called the Memory, Sorrow and Thorn series by Tad Williams. Midnight Mass by F. Paul Wilson. Now, this is a fun vampire series, and not your Twilight type vampires. These are mean sons of bitches. And so basically it's this night that vampires come to this town and just, I think 30 Days a Night. If you like that movie, you're going to love this book. Burnt Sienna by David Morrell. I can't 100% remember. I remember reading it. I do not remember what this is about. We have Heir to the Empire by Timothy Zahn. This is the first in the Thrawn trilogy. Basically written, to take. This is what happened. This is the original what happened after episode 6 of Star Wars. So if you're looking for, and it's great, this is where you introduced at Grand Admiral Thrawn, a beloved villain in the Star Wars series, rival other 10 to Darth Vader. So you have that going for you. But I highly recommend if you are interested in, looking for Legends books, Star Wars books, start with Heir to the Empire because you will not be disappointed. That is a great trilogy. We've got Storming Heaven by Kyle Mills. And I can't remember 100% what that was about. Okay, here we go. We got some of the Preacher novels by Garth Ennis. And so this is, if you have seen, I think it was a TV show on, was it AMC had the TV show, I think? But I didn't see the show because I loved the comic book so much. The graphic novel, I did not pick that up or watch that. But Preacher is very, very good. It's probably my favorite graphic novel series of all time. I take that back. I do take that back because Old Man Logan Wolverine was amazing. That's my favorite. Blue Moon Rising by Simon R. Green, another fantasy novel, pretty easy read. Countdown by David Hagberg. Countdown, it follows Kirk McGarvey. He is, a James Bond type guy, Jason Bourne type guy. David Hagberg. This Countdown book was the first thriller novel I've ever read, but it was very enjoyable. I think, it is Kirk McGarvey #1. I think it's #1, but it is my first thriller novel. So again, it holds a place in my heart. But yeah, it's like a James Bond type stuff. We've got The Vengeance of the Tau by John Land. John Land he writes in the Blaine McCracken. Blaine McCracken is his hero, think Jack Reacher type stuff. And I can't 100% remember what he goes up against here. Obviously, it's something named the Tau. We got Whiskey Sour by J.A. Conrath. I believe this is #1 in the Jacqueline Jack Daniels series. Jacqueline Jack Daniels is a cop, and she catches weird serial killers. They always have some sort of niche, the way they do things, and they're pretty sadistic. So this is the first in that. I should start those up again. I really like those. Out of the Ashes by William W. Johnstone got 4 stars. Out of the Ashes series, I believe it's 32 books, and it's the world ends basically, and it's just how we cope with the end of the world. I didn't continue it. I think I read the first 2 or 3. I think it was the first 2 actually. But I didn't like a few of the characters just didn't interest me after that. So whatever. We got Day of the Delphi, which is another John Lamb, Blaine McCracken series, along with the next few here is Kingdom of Seven and The Fires of Midnight. All Blaine McCracken stuff. So just fun action adventure type stuff. Let's see, we got some Walking Dead stuff. I rated 4s. We got Killzone by Jack Coughlin and Donald A. Davis. That's another more on the lines of Mitch Rapp, if you have read those type of stuff series. Council of 10 is another John Lamb, Blaine McCracken series. We've got The Eye of the World by Robert Jordan, the first in the Wheel of Time, which I am currently reading, and I'm not really enjoying it. The first 2 books were great, and then after that, I don't think I enjoyed any of the other ones. Excuse me. We got Deadfall by Robert Liparulo, and I vaguely remember this book, but I can't 100% recall, so I'm not going to say much. We've got Before They Are Hanged by Joe Abercrombie. This is the first in the, what do they call this series? The First Law world. No, this is #2, excuse me. The Blade itself is #1. The Blade itself is #1, and this is, Before They Are Hanged is the second one. Didn't really care for the third one, so I didn't. I did finish it, but I didn't continue on with this, the next trilogy, I guess, if you will. The Well of Ascension. This is #2 in the Mistborn, and it's pretty damn good. But for some reason, I have not picked up the third yet, and I don't know why. We've got I Am Legend by Richard Matheson, and if you've seen the Will Smith movie, this one is completely different, other than, one man left on Earth fighting against some vampires. But this one, it's completely different. So go check out. It's not that long. It's like 100-something pages. So heck, you could have read that for New World November this week or last week. No, this week. We've got Hack Slash Slash. Okay, Hack and Slash. Omnibus Volume 1 by Tim Seeley. This is a graphic novel, and it's about a girl and her monster buddy. Not monster, he's just deformed. He's a big hulking giant, deformed giant. And they go and kill slashers. So you've got all type. You've got a Freddy Krueger villain type guy. You've got a Jason type villain, Michael Myers type villains, all these tropey horror villains, and she goes and kills them with her buddy. We got Hell Island by Matthew Riley. Matthew Riley is my favorite author, and Hell Island is a little short story. Basically, it's his platoon buddy, or platoon he writes about, Scarecrow and his platoon. They go to this island because there's been reports of some stuff happening on it, and they go to see what's going on. And of course, they find things that are not going well. So we've got The Plantation by Chris Kuzneski. This is the first in the Payne and Jones series, and I read a few of these Payne and Jones, and they're not as good as this one. Basically, it's it takes place, I believe, in the South, where this plantation owner is still doing things back in the 1800s ways, I guess, if you will. And he captures one of our main characters and puts him to work in the plantation. And the other guy is going to come and basically save his buddy and just wreck his shit up. All right, The Seven Sins, The Tyrant Descending by John Land. This is a standalone. This is not a Blaine McCracken or I can't remember the other name, but it's not one of those. This is just a standalone. Takes place in Las Vegas, kind of action adventure. We got The Preserve by Patrick Lestuca, I believe. This, I believe, is a Hunger Games type novel. I can't remember. We've got Shadows in the Mist by Brian Moreland. It takes place in the 1940s during the height of World War II. And it's a platoon of soldiers who go and try to ruin some Nazis' plans, some occult Nazi plans. So they run into some occult behavior and stuff. And we've got The Devil's Pitchfork by Mark Terry. And it's about a contagion that is going to be released on the world, and it's just about this crew of good guys have to go and battle the terrorists and take out the bad guys to stop this contagion. I loved it, obviously, because I gave it 4 stars. We've got Dorado by David Wood. This is another Clive Cussler kind of ripoff kind of novel, which is still good. The Dorado, I believe, was a ship, and it's just these guys going down to find it. Now, obviously, you have another group that's going to try to find it. And, Swan Song by Robert R. McCammon. This one is one of my favorite apocalyptic novels. I think it's better than The Stand. Those always get compared. I like The Swan Song better. It's got better characters. So basically it's like The Stand, apocalyptic novel. We've got Cell by Stephen King. And I watched the movie. The movie is absolute trash. It's not good with Samuel L. Jackson, John Cusack. Holy crap, it's bad. But the book is good. Basically, everyone who has a cell phone becomes a zombie because there's something in the cell, something with the satellite that fucks with your head and makes you a rabid asshole, basically. We've got Anvil of Hell by basically Don Pendleton. Don Pendleton wrote the Mac Bolan series. Mac Bolan was I don't even know, he might be still being written about. basically a Rambo type character. But Anvil of Hill is usually they're really short little paperbacks, but Anvil of Hell is actually like an actual thick novel. We've got the Doomsday Prophecy by Scott Mariani, which is archaeology thriller, stuff like that. Primal Waters by Steve Alton. This is Meg. I believe this is number 2 in the Meg series, the Megalodon. Loved the movie. Can't wait to see if they can do this. I highly doubt they're going to do a second one. But so yeah, Steve Alton writes about the big shark, and this is just about the next big shark. The Keep by F. Paul Wilson. This is a horror story, I believe. I can't 100% remember. Well, we've got Jurassic Park by Michael Crichton. Need I say more? Jurassic Park. If you think the movie's great. Don't get me wrong, the movie's great. The book has a bunch of scenes that the movie does not. So there's a specific famous riverboat scene that's fantastic that everyone talks about. We've got Assassin by Ted Bell. Ted Bell is I think he's British. But, he's got his James Bond type character called Alexander Hawke, who is, I believe he's an ancestor of a famous pirate. So, and he's rich and he does things. He's James Bond, basically. We've got The Running Man by Richard Bachman. Arnold Schwarzenegger did that movie. The movie's, again, completely different. But Running Man is pretty dang good. It's pretty short, too. It's like 200-something pages. So we've got 172 Hours on the Moon by Johan Harstad and Tara F. Chase. And this is basically like a horror novel set on the moon. Young adultish, though. So if you're not really liking a young adult, this might not be for you. But I really liked it. I remember bits and pieces of it that I really enjoyed. The Mozart Conspiracy, that's another Scott Mariani novel. Archaeology thriller. We've got The Killing Floor by Lee Child. This is the first Jack Reacher novel, and kind of set the stage for what Jack Reacher is and what. Kronos by Excuse me, there's somebody texting me. Kronos by Jeremy Robinson. Basically, this is just like the Meg, but this is a chronosaur. You know what a chronosaur? It's a big dinosaur creature, underwater aquatic animal. So yeah, same thing. What is happening here? Same thing, yeah. Sandman Slim by Richard Cadry. Sandman Slim is a lot of fun. If you have not read Sandman Slim, basically, Sandman Slim, how do I describe this? He is a demon that lives on Earth. It's kind of like if anyone's read Jim Butcher, it's kind of like that, but a whole lot different. He's not like a detective or anything like that. But yeah, I guess I can't really. It's very hard to explain that. But Sandman Slim is a lot of fun. A lot of fun. He's got like his best friend is a head that rolls around on a skateboard, and he lives above a video store that he kind of runs and operates. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. He goes to hell every once in a while. He's got to fight demons in hell. He's got to go up to heaven, fight angels in heaven. Abandoned by Blake Crouch. Blake Crouch is pretty damn good. Everyone's comparing him to the next Michael Crichton. Abandon is I believe, is about an abandoned mine shaft, I believe, or a mining town, and a bunch of people go there to do something. I can't remember what it was. I'm sorry, but I loved it. Retribution Falls by Chris Wooding. This is a steampunk novel, kind of like Pirates of the Caribbean, but if it was steampunk. We've got Ice Sniper by Stephen Hunter. Stephen Hunter writes the Bob Lee Swagger stuff. So yeah, if you're into like that type of stuff, check out that. He wrote for the movie. Have you seen the Mark Wahlberg movie called Shooter? And then there was a TV show with Ryan Phillippe that got canceled because he did something stupid. I think he was on a motorcycle. He wasn't supposed to be on a motorcycle. He broke himself, so he couldn't film, so they just canceled it. Let's see here. Disturbed and the List by J.A. Conrath. Disturbed, I can't 100% remember. Something to do with pills. And The List by The List was that's right. I believe it's this guy, he's got a tattoo on his foot, a birthmark, I should say, on his foot that he grew up with, but it's in the shape of the number 6 or something like that. And he can't figure out what the heck that is. And then he runs into somebody else who has a birthmark on their foot with a number like 4 or something like that. And then they come across somebody else who's dead for some reason, who has the birthmark of 3 on them. So they're trying to figure out what the hell is going on. But yeah, it's different. Lockdown by Alexander Gordon Smith. I believe this is a young adult post-apocalypse series. I can't 100% remember. The Heretic's Treasure by Scott Mariani, another Ben Hope series, archaeology film. Primal Thirst by Ken Holloway. This is in the vein of Monster Hunter International, so it's got some urban fantasy elements. We've got The Gray Man by Mark Graney. And this is going to be a fun series. I only read the first one. Mark Graney is, your like Mitch Rapp type character. And an assassin, if you will. If you read the Orphan X series, if you really like, I love the Orphan X series. We've got Under the Dome by Stephen King. Fantastic book, and this is the last Stephen King book I actually enjoyed. I enjoyed Joyland, I guess, but that's more of a short story, I guess. But Under the Dome was absolutely fantastic. It's a big chunker. I think it's like 1,000-something pages. We got Pacific Vortex by Clive Cussler. This is the first in the Dirk Pitt series. So if you're looking to get started, pick up the Pacific Vortex. Blood Oath by Christopher Farnsworn. I believe this is number 2. No, this is number 1 in Nathaniel Cade. He is a vampire, kind of like in the vein of Blade, if you will, but another urban fantasy type series. Let's see here. We got Depraved by Brian Smith. And that is a horror novel, basically, about a sadistic family of cannibals. And so, again, read at your own risk. We've got The Devil Colony by James Rollins. That is also a Sigma Force series. Of course. We have The Way of Kings by Brandon Sanderson, the first in the Stormlight archives. And I'm not going to read any more of those until we get farther down the line, because those books are too big for me to continuously read those. Let's see. We got The Black Lung Captain by Chris Wooding. That is the second, I believe, in the Tales of Kenny J. That was the Retribution Falls, basically Pirates of the Caribbean in it was steampunk. X-Heroes by Peter Kleins. Now, this series is pretty fun. This series is basically the zombie apocalypse happens, but there are superheroes here. And when the superhero gets bit by a zombie, becomes a zombie, they become a smart zombie who can guide the mindless zombies around and order them to do things, and they can use their powers. So you get superhero fights with zombies, superheroes, a lot of fun. We've got some other, Worth Dying For. That's a Jack Reacher novel. We've got Cut and Run, which is by Matt Hilton. And Matt Hilton's another Jack Reacher type author. He's got I believe his guy is named Hunter, I believe. Let's see here. Hellhole by Brian Herbert and Kevin J. Anderson. Of course, Brian Herbert. Father was. Why am I blanking on his name? Frank Herbert. Jesus. Guy who wrote Dune. So Hellhole is Brian Herbert's series with Kevin J. Anderson. I've got a few of his books. Basically, a good general decides not to do something. I think it's massacre an entire colony of people. So he gets sent to this planet they nicknamed Hellhole. I think it's called Hallholm, I believe. But it's nicknamed Hellhole because you just go there to die, basically. And this guy goes there and basically becomes kind of the not an emperor, but a leader of these guys who are just down and out. And he goes to fight the evil empire. We got Monster Hunter Alpha by Larry Correia. That's in the Monster Hunter series. Oh, let's see what else we have here. Dead 6 is a fun. That's Larry Correia, Mike Kupari. That's about it. There's a few other ones here, but so basically I wanted just to say, so for Harry Potter, let's see what's going on. All right. So I started listening to the first Harry Potter series. And because I've never read it before, and I decided to listen to it because I don't know if I could read it. If I'm listening to it as I'm working and stuff like that, that's different. But it's only 9 hours. It was only 9 hours long, so I finished it in a few days. And so I finished it last night. And okay, I'm in it. I do have the second one rented. I'll probably start that one tomorrow at work. Another short one. Yeah, I am. I should say I enjoy the characters. The story was kind of like, the story was good up until the very end, and I didn't really care for the ending. I thought that was just kind of wrapped up way too fast. But it's a kid's novel, so I get that. And I've heard that this series doesn't really, like, it's good. I heard it's good, but it hits its stride on book 4, I guess. Well, and 4 and beyond are absolutely spectacular. So, looking at the time here, I'm at 38 minutes, so I think I'm going to hop off here. But yeah, thanks for watching. I'm going to actually, after I get done here, I'm going to film something and have it posted tonight for like an update, I guess, if you will. But because I'm getting up on time right here. So, hey, everybody, I hope you all have a wonderful weekend. Hope you had a wonderful Thanksgiving. And I will, when I get this film, this other one will be posted as well. Have a good one, everybody.